going on, guys?
What would a win on Saturday mean for you personally?
Say that again?
What would a win on Saturday mean for you?
I mean everything. This is the reason why we come to Ohio State, and growing up in Columbus, I feel like I've said it 1,000 times, but this is what you do it for these games, and I mean everything to this program and Coach Day and all the guys who've been here for the last 4 years. So I mean everything.
Jack,
What is Coach
going off
Day's?
of that, growing up in Columbus, there's a lot of players and transfers on this team that maybe didn't grow up like you did, knowing the importance of this rivalry. But hearing Will's words after the game on Saturday really rang true with Buckeye Nation. How do you make sure your teammates that are coming from other schools or growing up in different communities can really feel the importance of this rivalry?
Yeah, I think that once you step on campus from day one, I think Coach Mick and Coach Day and the whole staff, the guys who've been here, grew up in Columbus like myself and Zoe and Sonny and Ty, we do a good job of letting those guys know what it means from day one. So even though they may not be from Columbus like I am from Ohio, like some of the other guys, they know how much this rivalry means, and they get it. So just super excited for this weekend.
What has Coach Day's message kind of been on handling everything that comes with this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's taking it one day at a time. Just one day, Tuesday practice, big practice, just taking it one day at a time. And, we know what's at stake. We know how much this means. And we're doing a good job just staying focused and going one day at a time, like I said, and focus on what we can control right now. And, just anticipation for Saturday and being most prepared we can be for Saturday is what we're focused on right now.
Do you expect this game at all? You played them before in past years where it's a battle of unbeatens or top five matchups. How do you expect this year's game being any different, or is it any different?
Yeah, I mean, every year it doesn't matter what the record is. Our record or their record, it's going to be a war no matter what. You can just go back through history and look at that. So we know that they're going to give us a good shot. They're a good team. They're a good football team. And there's no mistake in that. So, we know we're going to have to come in there and, play our balls off. And we expect the war. And, that's what we came here to do. And that's what we hope it is.
Is there any chance they have an extra edge just because they're only playing, they're sort of in a spoiler role?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I think that no matter what, it's going to be a battle in this game. It's a rivalry. It's the biggest game of the year for both of our programs. And, I expect it to be a hard-fought game, and I can't wait.
Jack, obviously the win is the priority. But the last few years with the losses, the toughness of this team has been questioned. Is that a point of pride for you guys, not just getting a win, but doing it in a way that's like, yes, we can play this style and we can win that way?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, for myself personally and for the defense, that's how we want it. Offense as well. It's been our motto all year, as being the toughest guys on the field every time we step out there and executing at a high level. And if you do those two things, you're usually going to win the game. So that's definitely, I love that question because, for me, growing up in Columbus, that's like what you pride yourself on is being tough and winning games that way. So that's definitely the style of ball we expect this Saturday. And it's just the style of ball we love to play.
Jack, you go against Donovan now, probably more than anybody else. What have your impressions been of him as a left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, Donovan's a great player. He's so athletic, and seeing him move to left tackle and play well like he has is no surprise to me. And the rest of the team, he stepped up in a big way too, leadership-wise, for the young guys that had to step in for, Seth going down, which is so unfortunate. Still feel so bad for him, but he's been a great leader as well. So Donnie's been great, leadership-wise, playing-wise. It's no surprise he's been able to switch like that and really not lose a step.
Jack, do you have any specific memories from growing up of when you realized how big this rivalry was?
Yeah, I could say back to when Curtis Samuel ran that one in I think it was overtime to win. Pat Elfline leading the way, from Pick North. I grew up watching Pat play, so that was really special. I think that was really the moment when I was like, man, I want to play in this game. And it's just really cool looking back on it now. Watching with my buddies going crazy when we scored, having no idea that one day I'd be playing this game. So just a blessing from God, and take it all in.
What is that like to think about that and think you're in it for the fourth time? Is that kind of sometimes hard to grasp that what you aspired to has come to fruition?
Yeah, sometimes it's tough because you get caught up in the swing of being, trying to prepare yourself for the game that you kind of lose sight of, where you came from and being growing up in Columbus, always dreaming about playing in this game. Sometimes you forget about it in the midst of getting ready to go play and actually compete. But yeah, no, it's cool to definitely reflect and be able to realize that growing up, being a Buckeye fan, growing up 15 minutes from here, it's such a, like I said, it's just a blessing from God to be able to play in this game and play for the Buckeyes. So. Definitely don't take it for granted. It's definitely a senior night too, so sure the emotions are going to be running high. Sure I'm going to see a bunch of tears from my mom, run out of the tunnel. So it's going to be a good experience.
Were you as curious as most of us were on how Austin and Carson were going to function this past week? Did you find yourself watching them at all? When you were on the sideline, just Tell me what that was like watching that from a defensive point of view.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was curious about how they'd do because I know that, Carson played a lot of ball for us last year at center. And, I know Austin's a great player. He's been, working his tail off all year, being ready for a moment like that. So I wouldn't say I was curious to see how he'd play because I know they play well together. And it was cool to see that.
Jack, Ryan made the point in his press conference that all offseason, everybody talks about this game. It's gotten kind of glad for everybody to be here. For you, for Guy, and this is the us who came back for this game, what's that year been like, and how much have you thought about just kind of finally at this moment?
Yeah, that's the reason why we come back. That's the reason why we all came back. I think a big part for me is to come back for Coach Day. I think that no one deserves this win more than he does. And to see what him and his family have gone through, last 3 years, falling short to them, made my decision even more clear to come back. And he's a guy I gave an opportunity to play here. So I thought that I owed it to him to come back and, get this win for him. So that's what we plan to do Saturday.
Are you amazed by
to see the pain on the team, even though he wasn't here for the last 2 years? And we also were personal a lot. Like, how much do you lean on that about the last 3 seasons?
Say that again.
Well, Howard said on Saturday, even though he wasn't here, you could see the pain that this game had caused the last few seasons. How much do you lean on that? How personal is this to you guys?
Yeah, it's always personal, this game. And, the last 3 years have been tough. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you it hadn't been because this game means everything to this program and everything to anybody involved. So, we're using it as fuel. We've used it as fuel the last whole offseason. So, but, we're just ready to go out there and play and compete, and we're ready for a war.
Are you amazed and disappointed at what Coach Day has had to go through? Just in terms of whether it's family or whatever. What does that do to you guys as a team? I know you play for each other, but do you play for him?
Yeah, I love Coach Day. Like I said before in Big Ten Media Day, I'd commit to him 1,000 times over. Just the type of guy he is, and the family man he is, and the coach he is to us, believing in all of us. So, yeah, the stuff he had to go through was bullshit the last 3 years, and we're excited to get out here and play for him, and definitely playing for him a little bit too. Not a little bit. That's one of the big reasons I came back is for him too. So, definitely excited for this opportunity this weekend.
Jack, as someone who grew up here, grew up with this rivalry, I don't know, you're talking a lot about Day, but what's it been like for you? What's been the toughest part of now you get to live out this rivalry you've watched, and you're on the other side of that, where you've been on the losing side more often?
Yeah, it's tough. I think that I haven't won a rivalry game of football since 7th grade against Ridgeview. Never beat them. Never beat Central in high school. Ty and Zoe like to rub that in a lot, and then you get here and you fall short 3 years too. So just excited for the opportunity to go out the right way this weekend.
What's that do? Rivalry games are emotional.
Yeah.
It's a long time to go without winning a rivalry game. I know in high school it can be a little different, but how does that weigh on you as a person more than just as a football player?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it weighs on me as a person, but I'd be lying if I said I don't think about it every day. Shit, sometimes I still think about the games against Central in high school, so it's just a competitor in me. But I think that going through those trials and tribulations the last 3 years has really shaped this team and the coaching staff as well. And I think you see it in the way we're playing and the way we're approaching stuff now. And it's been tough. It hadn't been easy. It's been far from easy. So. But that's the way we like it around here, is going through those tough times with each other has embraced it for this moment that we got this year. So I think the chips have all aligned in the right spots, and we're just excited to go out there and compete this Saturday.
Jack, you're that there they sit again between you guys and where you want to get to. You know what I mean?
That's the way it's supposed to be, man. I think that growing up, it's always been like that. The game's always been played for the most on the line. That's how I think they want it. That's how we want it. And, that's how you want it as a competitor too. I know they love it and we love it. Everything you worked for and you love is on the line against the team that, you hate the most. So that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the great thing about sports.
Jack, the pass rush, it felt like the first quarter against Indiana was a bit of a struggle. But then Cody got free on that blitz, and you and JT were there too. It just kind of opened the floodgates a little bit. Just what's your thought about that? Are you guys a 60-minute team that it may not happen in the first 5 minutes or the second 5 minutes, but it's eventually going to happen? Is that what do you look at it?
Yeah, I think that early on in games, I'd love it more than anybody to be able to get a bunch of sacks early on in games, but teams script up a good first couple drives and they're getting the ball out quick against us and doing different things. So you kind of got to let the game come to you a lot of times, which I know you guys want to see the sack numbers. I know we want to see it more than anything. But like you said, that once you get in the flow of the game, you start, putting the pressure on them, getting on third downs, third and longs. When you can really pin your ears back and go, that's when you see the sacks start happening. And that's when you can really get after the quarterback.
Did you guys put Indiana in a position they hadn't been all year? I mean, could you see that?
Yeah, I think you felt it too. I mean, you could see it in their eyes. When they got on the third and long after the first few sacks, that they're kind of looking all over the place, knowing that something's coming. So. Once you start putting pressure on offense like that, it kind of just snowballs. They say sacks come in bunches, and I really believe that. Like you saw it last week, you got a couple sacks early on, then they just started coming in waves. So that's really a solid defense we want to play.
Speaking of sacks, your solo sack came on a play where Cody blitzes across the center space, and you loop from weak side C gap all the way to strong side A gap. When a stunt is dialed up for you like that, what is going through your head?
Just excitement. You know what I mean? Just hopefully that. The play works like it's supposed to work, and we execute at a high level. That's the thing we've been talking about a lot lately: is executing at a high level and doing your job, and not worrying about anything else. So I think that when we got that type of mindset, and we're just going to play as hard as we can and execute and do our job, to the fastest and best capability we can, that things are going to work out in the right way.
Is there a sense is there a sense this defense is on a crescendo? I mean, from basically the fourth quarter of Nebraska on, it's something new has popped up, but you guys pretty much figured out a way to shut teams down one way or the other stuff. What is it from the inside that you feel about this defense?
Say that word again, crescendo?
Yeah,
What's that mean?
Meaning getting louder, bigger.
I like that. I might add that in my dictionary. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're playing confident, man. Coach Knowles is trusting in us, and he's dialing stuff up for us and letting us play fast and aggressive, which we want. The style of ball we want to play, and it's working out great. We just got to keep continuing and keep executing at a high level.
And has he been calling as fine a game the last couple of games as he's done here? Jack, you've been here.
Well, I think he's done a great job the whole time he's been here. I think that a lot of times we got to execute better, and I think that's been the focal point of this defense moving forward. After the Oregon loss, is just executing better and knowing our job assignment and then playing fast as we can.
Jack, thank you very much.
You guys have not talked about this much. With 2 of 3 losses, at least there's another factor involved. How much is that in the back of your mind?
We don't really talk about that much anymore.